Hi and welcome to SUS News, where we talk about news related and all the stuff that goes on in the real world. This is our news topics for today. First, the UK is to send Challenger 2 tanks to Ukraine, Rishi Sunak confirms that in a phone call with Zelensky yesterday. And second, Andrew Tate has been arrested in Romania for human trafficking and other criminal activities. And 3, once a century flooding hits the Kimberley region of Western Australia. Today we're also going to have with us experts on those related news subject stories. Next news story, the UK is to send Challenger 2 tanks to Ukraine to bolster the country's war effort. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has said in an APA report, he spoke to Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky in a call on Saturday, during which he confirmed he would send the equipment and additional artillery systems. President Zelensky has thanked the UK, saying that the decision to send the tanks will not only strengthen us on the battlefield, but also send on the right signal to other partners. And today we have, of course, tank expert Nathaniel Arab with us today on studio. Okay, so Nathaniel, what types of tanks are these Challenger 2 tanks?
Well, the UK Challenger 2 is a medium mobile tank. The roles is defense and attack, boom and zoom we call it. It's a 5th generation tank from the UK, of course. 120mm gun, cannon, 25 kph. Pretty slow for a tank, but stabilizer from the gun, as you can see, is good for terrain. Yes.
Thank you very much for that question. Now, how could these tanks change the situation in Ukraine? But just by guessing.
Well, the Challenger 2 is mostly a support mission or attack tank. So can support the troops for the Ukrainian army. The tank from Russia, the T-18 and the T-19, I think, is from the Cold War. The only thing that can smash the Challenger 2 is the T-14, the new Russian tank that haven't been deployed in the front lines yet. It's a 5th generation tank. Will connect the rounds and armor, but it's pretty high maintenance. So
it's really powerful.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
But it cannot go alone, I think, because support from buildings and the Ukrainian army, like they go on foot, but troops will be carried by the M4A Bradleys from the US. It's a 25mm gun. Got 30, it depends on the model. These will go in convoy with the Challenger 2 carrier. It's kind of a light tank, if you know. So yeah, they will go in convoy to take the naval part of Ukraine, so Russia will get dunked out of the territory.
So it'll definitely prove useful.
Yes.
But does the UK plan to send more tanks to Ukraine?
Do you mean different tanks or the Challenger 2 tanks?
No, just different tanks in general.
It depends really. Challenger 2 is a pretty dependable tank for the UK. It's a crown jewel. The only thing I can see if the upgrades of the Challenger 2, like the Black Knights with rocket
Rocket systems?
rocket defense systems is a new thing for the army. Maybe Challenger 3 that are in production, but that's not sure. Haven't been tested yet. Challenger 2 is the crown jewel of the Britain and army. Yes.
And in addition to this, there might be also a more artillery system on the way as well. So thank you so much, Nathaniel, for that great explanation. But Nathaniel, why doesn't Russia use what was the
Air Force?
Air Force, yes, thank you. Air Force systems.
Well, they don't have an Air Force. So the Russian Air Force is grounded because they don't have the modern things like radar system and ground troops that can support them. No radars. You can see as Russian as a flying artillery because just use bombs, rockets, like the Russian helicopters and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty grounded. The only thing I can see for Russia to do is to use the Ka-50 helicopters from the Cold War. It's pretty useful, but don't see why they can use it now because the American F-35 can just destroy them easily because they were not just because of they're better than the Sukhoi or the MiG-29, but they have support from brothers, air system, AA. When we talk of AA, like anti-air system, Ukraine had rumored to have a German and British anti-air gun. Is a Leopard anti-tank, not the Leopard. So yeah, the only air they use is drones and stuff, but not anymore, I guess.
And due to also the fact that when they're using all these weapons, the people that's using it might be, struggling with problems like food and weapons. But in Russia, there are not really people the soldiers in Russia that isn't really experienced with all these systems that they're using in Ukraine.
Yes, that's pretty true. Because mostly of the pilots of the start of the war, the bombing of Ukraine and blah blah blah, there was just passenger plane aviators or transport. They never used the combat situation. The fighter planes are pretty different from transport plane, of course. So Russia don't have really any pilots to train right now, or maybe tankers, because most of them are gone. Yes, so yes, not really much to add from Russia's side. They're pretty bad contact now. I think Russia is gonna lose because the support from NATO allies and other countries like Sweden, I think, or Scandinavia support them with fuel and stuff. We have seen Norway have come with armor, not armor, but helmets and bulletproof vests. That's important from the Ukrainians.
But with these armor and tanks and everything that they give Ukraine, will this help make the war? When do you think the war will end? With all this support from the other countries. Just by guessing.
Well, that's kind of hard to know. Not sure really, but the war, I think it will be provoked and be more extreme maybe in the summer, late 2023. If Russia don't have any, or Putin don't have any toys to play with, like the Cold War stuff you've seen. I think either Russia is going to give up or going to hit more bombing or maybe selling nukes. Because yes.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for your cooperation in this interview today.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Nathaniel, for that. But now, before we move on to the next news story, here's a little ad break.
Open cola, open happiness. And you also make Elon Musk happy. Limited time offer. If you buy one 500 milliliter Cola Zero now, you get one free at every store near you.
Brothers Andrew and Tristan Tate remain in Romanian custody on charges of organized crime, human trafficking, and rape. Today we have with us police detective Justin Wren from Texas and also media expert Mari Faugstad from Texas. Okay, so Justin, you know a lot about Andrew Tate. Can you explain for those who does not know him who this man is?
Alright. Andrew Tate is a former professional kickboxer. He's known for the viral video online about male dominance, female submission, and words. He openly supports violence against women and had previously been banned from every social media platform until Elon Musk unbanned him after taking over the company.
Thank you so much, Justin. Can you, but Kuvert, before we continue, can you elaborate why did Elon Musk unban Andrew Tate from Twitter?
Elon Musk, he's unbanned Andrew Tate because he really like Andrew Tate and support his idea.
Thank you, Justin, for that good explanation. Now, on to our next expert, Mari Haugstad. So now we're gonna ask questions to Mari. There's a lot of teens that look up to Andrew Tate, but why is that? Can you elaborate?
That's a great question, and it's a bit difficult to understand. In recent weeks, clips of Andrew Tate has been getting millions and billions of views over TikTok and Instagram and other platforms. But to really understand why teenagers look so much up to him, we sort of have to put ourselves in their shoes. In an age and time where everything can seem a bit uncertain and difficult, it's kind of a relief for them to have someone tell them what to do and how to act and what to say and what opinions are correct and other stuff like that. Tate is also very savvy when it comes to social media, and he knows how to present himself into internet culture and what to say in order to get more views. He also appears to have what every teenager, or particularly teenage boys, are trained to want, like a ripped body and internet fame and wealth and women and sports car and all of these other things that most people want in their life. In essence, these teenagers, they kind of want to be like him, so they're also going to act like him.
Thank you so much, Mari, for that great explanation about him. Now, over to you, Justin. We have another question for you. So, why did Andrew Tate and his brother get arrested? You know where they got arrested?
Yeah. So, Andrew Tate and his brother, Tristan Tate, got arrested on December 29 by the government of the Romanian for human trafficking, rape, and many other serious crimes in the matter of always being surrounded by controllers and hating women.
Thank you so much, Justin. Okay, Mari. Another question to you. Now, the climate activist Greta Thunberg has also been credited for the arrest of Andrew Tate. Can you explain us why?
So on December 28th, Andrew Tate made a tweet listing his supercars and their engines and how much CO2, the emission of their CO2. He sort of teased or enticed Greta Thunberg to reply by saying, please give me your email so I can give you a full list of their specific engines. And so Greta Thunberg made a reply further insulting Andrew Tate, saying that he should get a life and just stop. And so Andrew Tate actually made a video reply of this, where in the video he ordered pizza, and like out loudly proclaimed that he would not be recycling these pizza boxes. But what he didn't know was that on the pizza boxes specific was Romani letters, which notified or is believed to notify the Romani police that he was residing within the country at the time, so they could finally arrest him because they had been chasing him for quite some time.
So it was Andrew Tate's foolishness that got him arrested, actually.
This is believed and like very popular theory on social media, but they don't have any like concrete proof.
Thank you so much, Mari, for that brilliant explanation. Now, thank you so much, Mari and Justin, for your cooperation. Thank you very much for that. Now, on to our next case. Thank you, Mari and Justin, for those brilliant interviews. Now, before we move on to our next and last news case, for today, we're gonna have an ad break.
Do allergen like dust, smoke and pollen have you and your family feeling sick? Then try New Wave Oxy Pro Smart Air Purifier that come with HEPA carbon filter that capture and trap pollen, allergen, industrial estimation and organic compound such as smoke, car exhaust and cleaning chemical, and ozone removal filter that can eliminate harmful ozone gas from tombs to less than 1 ppb, 70 times less than the EPA household standard. BioGuard filter, electrostatics that kill staph and fluid, kill 99% of bacteria and virus and trap particle pollution as small as 0.09 micron. Stainless steel per filter collect larger particles such as pet hair, dandel and pollen. Remove 0.5 and bigger size particle. And many people asking that air purifier can make the air dry, so the answer of that question is no. Air purifier do not reduce indoor humidity, they can only improve indoor air quality. In the process of the air purifier, the air can improving air quality, the humidity will not be affected. Air purifier have a positive impact on our life. Some may ask if that impact extended to sleep. Air pollution does not stop when we sleeping. So the simple answer is yes. If you want to full benefit of your air purifier, it should be running in your bedroom when you sleep. If you're interested, call us in 0740 1335 616.
Okay, and on to our last news story of the day. The Kimberley region of Western Australia has been flooded due to climate change. And today we also have with us climate expert Frida from Australia, no doubt, and from Australia. And I'm going to ask her questions about the climate activities that have happened in the Kimberley region. So Frida, it's so nice to have you with us today. So Frida, why and how did this happen? How did this flooding appear in the Kimberley region?
Well, first, the crisis in the Kimberley region started last week after the severe weather system Ellie, which is a form of tropical cyclone, brought heavy rain over all the country of Australia. So Western Australia has been experiencing so much heavy rain that it has led to this flooding, which has caused many affected communities to be stranded. An emergency service minister has said it was the worst flooding Western Australia has had in its history. So this is a really bad flooding because it has been affecting a lot of people and communities in the Western Australia. And climate experts say that this is no doubt flooding has become because of climate changes.
It's very bad to hear. To think that Australia, of all places, would be one of the ones that would be harmed the worst of climate change. Well, but Frida, the Kimberley region is a region that no one really knows much about. So can you explain to us what the Kimberley region is?
Yes, the Kimberley region is Western Australia's northernmost region, and it's spanning over 400,000 square kilometers. It's around 3 times the size of England, and yeah, it has like a subtropical monsoonal climate. So because of this, the Kimberley region is a very precious wilderness region, but not so many people know about it.
Very interesting facts. But last question though, is climate change a really big issue in Australia, as we've seen?
Yes, it is a really big, because Australia is heavily impacted by climate changes from around the world and from Australia. Australia experiencing the global climate changes, but however, the 2 main activities that are contributing towards climate changes in Australia are emissions of greenhouse and...
Okay, but we've seen, of course, a lot of climatic activities in Australia. But is it really as big of an issue as everyone tells us it is?
Australia is heavily impacted by climate changes, so it is a really big problem there. The country is experiencing effects of global climate changes, but however, the 2 main activities that are contributing towards climate change in Australia are emissions of greenhouse gases and aerosis, plus land use and land conversion practices. This is happening in Australia, so the country itself is like contributing to the climate changes there. So this has led to the average land and sea temperature in Australia heavily increasing, despite large natural variation. Australia also sees changes to rainfall patterns, increased fire danger and rising sea levels. So they see a lot of big climate changes.
Well, thank you so much, Frida, for the brilliant information about the Kimberley region and Australia's climate activities. That's it for this news case, and that's gotta do it for today. Join us next time when we're going to talk about something more news related. We'll see what it's going to be about, and have a good evening.